Yeah, Mabel's doing fine. They're doing okay, but yeah. Yeah, you know, I mean, so Mabel's come up with to our house. She's got a lot of beagle in her. Cookie does anyway. She's nose to the ground, whiskers, squirrels, little flying bugs. Yeah, she's good. She just needs some attention.
Okay, and I thought I read that before, and I was like, general like obedience.
Yeah.
But then barking at men, was it?
Yeah, she barks. I'm surprised she didn't bark at you because I noticed she sort of barks when people have dark clothing there. But
Okay.
that could mean me just coming up with something. I mean, I don't know.
Sure.
But she's
Yeah, I can see her perking up here.
yeah.
You like squirrels?
Loves squirrels.
Okay, that's probably why.
Yeah, she loves squirrels. Yeah, she's a little bit marginal with men, and that was one thing I had asked when I adopted her. You know, who knows what? She was a breeding dog.
Sure.
You can tell.
She's cute, I like her.
Yeah, she's super cute. She's super friendly. For the most part, she likes dogs. You know, you just never know when she's going to bark at somebody.
Okay.
It's, you know, she starts and then she stops as soon as she kind of figures that you're okay.
Sure.
She chews a little bit too much now, so right now we have her, we crate her a lot just because she's only been with us for a week.
Oh, okay, wow.
Yeah, so I don't trust her. I've taken all the pillows out. I don't trust her completely. She takes her bed out of her crate and chews that. Like, so she gets it socks, pens.
Sure.
And the back cushion of our sofa, it's a big, she pulls that down.
Okay.
She hasn't, like, done any damage to it, but I don't want to wait to find out if she will do damage.
Got you.
I take a spray bottle to her when I catch her. I spray her with water.
Okay.
Just to bug her a little bit.
Sure.
I have 2 cats at home.
Okay.
Supposedly she's fine with cats. They know about each other. They haven't officially met. That's going to be very slow going.
Okay. How old is she?
She's 3. I've seen 3. I've seen 2. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
I'm not quite sure.
Her teeth look good, so she's not old, and she looks good. Looks young. Okay. And then anything else that you're trying to like accomplish with Cookie here?
I'd like her to sit. Understand, sit, stay. Just basic commands.
Sure.
When she walks on a leash, she zigzags on her.
Yeah, I can see that. That's part of the barking issue.
Okay.
Is all this because here like she doesn't have any rules or boundaries. She's just like in her own world.
Yeah.
So then, yeah. Sure.
So that's what I want to get is her to be more calm. I just want her to. I mean, I don't expect her to be perfect, but I haven't had a dog for 6 months.
Oh, okay.
So this is our first dog. You know, I'm a cat person. I do like her a lot.
Okay.
But in my heart of hearts, I love my cat.
Sure, yeah.
But, you know, she's a great dog. Great for her. My husband likes her. You know, we all like her a lot. But, yeah, it's just like the little thing. We find her.
Yeah.
I don't think she's ever, I mean, who knows?
And it's Charlotte, correct?
Yeah.
How old is Charlotte? 12. Okay. Okay. And is she going to be the primary handler? Is she going to be doing all the training and stuff, or?
I want her to. Yeah.
Okay.
Her first, me second.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Is she the only one, other than like the 2 of you, like your husband, or?
My husband won't get too involved, and my son probably won't get too involved either. He's almost 16. He's out all the time.
Sure.
He's not. Yeah.
Okay. So, did she tell you, Amy? Did she tell you how I train and my methods and stuff?
She told me about the e-collar.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know a lot about that.
Okay. So I'll educate you. So, you know, there's different styles of training. There's food-based. There's like harnesses. There's the prong spiky collar, and then there's e-collar, and there's like all the in between, right? is that the reason why I only do e-collar is because it gets you off leash control right off the bat. Okay, so like if she gets off leash, you need her to return. Like it's the only tool that can guarantee that can happen because you have means of communication. She could have a steak or a piece of cheese or chicken, and she's chasing a squirrel, and she's like, I never get to chase squirrels. Like you've lost value. You know, with the prong collar, it's an effective tool. It's a psychic point. Once you remove the leash, again, you don't have the means of making her return. Okay, so the e-collar, in my opinion, is the best tool because you get off leash right off the bat. Okay. Also, it's very simple to teach. Okay, in terms of like function, because now everything's pressing a button. It's more so intuitive to people. Size and age doesn't matter. Like you got a good sized dog for her. You know, like I've had kids her age and they want like a German Shepherd. You know, and I'm like, that's the greatest matchup here. But because of the e-collar, I can make that work as long as they do the homework. Okay. Now the problem that we may have is the emotional discomfort of the e-collar. Okay. That's the human part of it. Okay. Okay. Does that make sense? Yeah. So like I actually have another client. Their dog, they have a golden doodle, a mini golden doodle, bit the daughter, and he actually bit me. See that right there? That blood blister? Yeah. He bit me. Okay, and he bit me pretty good, and he was only 3 months. And they did e-collar, but all the kids were just don't want to do it. But the parents were all for it. But I guess the kids weren't. I trained the dog, but they didn't want to reinforce it. The kids didn't because of the emotional discomfort. But the dog bit the daughter pretty good, and obviously got me pretty good. But still, they just couldn't get over that psychological hump. And it's not like a taser. Have you ever been to a chiropractor or physical therapist?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah. Have you ever had the TENS unit, the muscle stimulation?
Yes.
Have you had that?
Yeah.
Okay, that's an e-collar.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's easy.
Yeah, it's just a muscle stimulator.
Oh.
Okay. But people
not
think.
fine with that. Yeah.
People think it's like electrocution. It's not. It's just a muscle stimulator. Okay.
Okay.
Now the way it works is just like with humans, they start low, they work their way up, and they say, tell us when they come too much. And then you go, oh, right there. So then they lower it because they need the machine to do its job, but they need you to be able to tolerate it. Okay. It's very similar with dogs. We start low, we work our way up. I don't know what Cookie's number is going to be. Cookie knows.
Yeah.
Okay. And her size doesn't dictate the number. I've had small dogs. My collar goes to 127. Other collars go to 10. So the difference is I have 117 more braces. It's very refined. I've had small dogs whose size be at 70, 80. But they're not yelping or anything. They're not in pain. They're just very physically resilient. But that's the number they listen to. Okay. So what makes me an effective trainer is that when I come in, I'll make the dog listen, and they'll learn the concept. It's just whether or not the owner will repeat the exercise and go to the degree needed. So like let's say Cookie's number was like 50. And because we're logical, we're like, man, 50 is a really high number out of 127. I'll come back and I'm like, how was it? Like, oh, it's still terrible. And I'll say like, how high did you go? And they'll say like 20. So 20 and 50 are very far apart. They're not going to get those results. Okay. So it's very effective, but you obviously still have to do the homework.
Right.
But it's a very quick process. Okay. I've built my career and my business on this tool.
Okay.
Everybody looks at it as like the last resort. For me, it's the first resort because I get off control right off the bat. Like, why wouldn't I not want that?
Well, I think I really just listen and agree because we're in the city. You don't have time to be nice sometimes.
Right.
And I agree. They need to know who's boss.
Right. Yeah, and we're not being mean about it. It's just so dogs are physical animals. They bite each other. Again, right here.
Right.
And I have more like there's 10 stitches here from a dog bite. And I have more dog bite scars.
Yeah.
They're physical animals.
Yeah.
Physicality. This is the reason why the e-collar is so effective is because it's physical, but it's non-confrontational. Like we're not yelling, we're not overpowering, we're not like overasserting ourselves. The e-collar does all that for us.
Okay.
There's no conflict there. Okay. It takes how do you say? You do have to do the homework. It's not like I train it, the dog learns it, and you're good.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Now, one of the most common questions I get is when does the e-collar go away? And when you need it, it doesn't. Okay, so meaning when she's on a walk, she's going to have the collar on. If she's going to be off playing with dogs off leash, she's going to have the collar on.
Okay.
If like with guests coming over, she's kind of barking in the beginning, Maybe she has the collar on in the beginning, but then when she settles down, you remove it, she's perfectly fine, right? It's when you need it. Most people think about the old concept of the dog should learn to like know better. Dogs don't do that. Okay, it's called opportunistic behavior. So like you drove here, you go on the expressway,
No, we're just down. We're very
but
close.
have you been on the express? Like you drive on the expressway ever?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you go the speed limit?
No.
No, right? Most people, the answer is no.
No.
Right? Because it's opportunistic. If there's no squad cars, there's no threat of getting a ticket.
Yeah.
Why should we go the speed limit, right? It's the same thing for dogs. So I look at that collar, the top on the collar. When it's present, she's going to behave better. And, you know, she's a dog. She does it. You know, even humans, we know better and we still do things we shouldn't, right? So dogs don't have that capacity, so I don't understand
Can you
why.
put e-collars on humans?
Well, technically, right, with the TENS unit. But that's the reality of it. Okay, it has nothing to do with my skills as a trainer. It has nothing to do with like how much time that people put into it. It's, you know, dogs are opportunistic. And you know, when people say like, well, I've seen dogs on TV or the internet that don't have the collar, I'm like, yeah, but look at the environment. It's usually like a very empty, bland environment where they're inside a room where nothing's going on. That's why we met here. We train here.
Okay.
Okay, because this is realistic. If you can get it to happen here, everywhere else, you know, shouldn't be a problem.
Okay.
Is the theory. And it's all because of COVID.
Yeah.
We used to do home to home, and I'm gonna open that back up again. Right now, we're working on pricing and stuff. Unfortunately, COVID has like made my operation cost even more. So we're like trying to figure everything out. But it's been working great here for all our clients. I don't touch the dog anymore. I just coach the human. Okay. And everybody's been getting the results. Now, Charlotte would be my 12-year-old. But she is old enough. Okay. I had the youngest I ever trained, and this was like with the new method. I did train a young man. He was, I believe, 10 or 11. He was actually on the Junior Chef with Gordon Ramsay. He was one of the contestants. He was very intelligent and he was very disciplined. And he trained his dog really well with the e-collar. Okay. So I don't put it past kids, like they're able to do it. It's just the emotional aspect of, you know, if she's feeling guilty about the tool or anything like that. That's where we're gonna have some struggles.
Are you going to feel guilty about that? Hi.
So I usually have people feel it, you know, but it's just a muscle contraction. You know, it's not like sticking your finger in an outlet. It's not like a taser or anything like that. It's not electric. It's electric, but not electricity is what I tell people. And you want to think that, you know, even though Cookie hasn't shown you these behaviors, dogs bite each other. Like that's how they communicate. Okay. So people tend to do things like food and stuff like that. Dogs don't give each other treats for stuff. They just go, I don't like you doing that, I'm going to bite you, right? Or they growl at them and warn them of, I'm going to bite you if you keep doing this, right? Dogs are very physical. So, I mean, I was raised old school, I was spanked. You know, so if I didn't do my homework, if I didn't do the dishes, or if I talked back to my mom, it was spank, spank, spank. Those are all my consequences, right? With kids, because we can reflect, you know, we have things like time out. Dogs don't have time out. Cookie doesn't sit there and you know in the room going like, man, I shouldn't have barked at like, you know, dad or whatever. Like it's you know, there's consequence for the behavior itself. The barking behavior that you're seeing may go away with just the discipline from the e-collar. Okay? Because she's had no formal discipline, like she's had no structure. So once that comes into play, the barking may go away. If it doesn't, no big deal. That means we have to approach it differently. Okay? And that means providing consequence for the behavior itself, much like a dog would bite behavior. Okay? Dog behind you. Questions so far?
No, I think you're getting a good picture of.
And this is like super simple. Like I see this stuff all the time. It's just tiny. Yeah, you see that intensity of how she pulls? Yeah, that intensity is what triggers the barking and all the the activity stuff that you see.
Yeah, because I think that's the other big thing is I mean, at first I felt guilty with the crate, but then I thought, no, it's kind of okay. I just don't like leaving her in that long, but right now, you know, since she's so new to our house, she's really confined to one room.
Right.
I don't let her wander around unless I don't.
Right, you need more trust.
Yeah.
And what I suggest to people is when they get a dog, from the day they get them, it's 1 year in the crate when they're not around. Okay? Right, when you're not around. So when you leave the store, leave the work, anything like that, no one's gonna be home, she's in the crate. Because she's got to get used to the structure. And I've had dogs, you know, eat up drywall, eat off doorknobs, tear up couches and stuff. Now she's small, But because she's not used to the structure,
Yeah.
we get separation anxiety, and then it becomes destructive behavior. A
Okay.
year in the crate kind of gets her used to the fact of like, oh, like you leave 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, and like you come back at 5, and then I'm free for the rest of the day. And then like nighttime, I don't care if the dog's potty trained, but it's definitely when they're gone, the owners are gone,
Okay.
just to prevent any destructive behaviors. Like I've had dogs eat socks and it clogs up their intestines,
Yeah.
and after one surgery, there's typically no other opportunity that the dog will pass to eat something because they were left out. So there's other risk factors there. So don't feel guilty about it. Plus, dogs sleep 16 to 20 hours a day. You're just picking more than she's,
Okay.
sleeping for part of that time.
Okay. Okay. I guess, kind of my ultimate goal is, for her, to be able to spend the night out of the crate, I guess.
Which is fine because you're home.
And see, I'm home a lot, and that's what I have to figure out, like the balance with that. Because I'm home a lot. How much do
Are you home because of COVID, or are you home just because?
Because I work from home right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
But otherwise, you would be like going out.
I'd definitely be going out more than I am now.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah. I
So-
like to go do stuff. Yeah.
What I recommend for people is because a lot of my clients are on work from home because of COVID. Is I would ask them like, would you work? You're a 9 to 5. They go yes. I'm like, all right, from 9 to 5, your dog's in the kennel. Because that's what life would look like if it wasn't for COVID, right? Because what's going to happen, because this shit happens to some people, is they're like, oh, I'm home all the time. I can be with my dog all day. And then they have to go back to work, and now the dog's freaked out.
Yeah.
Because they got used to like months of being with the owner. So I said, start recreating life so that when you have to leave, it's no different other than she's like, okay, I'm in the kennel again, but mom is gone now. Okay? So, and that's all stuff I would help you with.
Okay.
In terms of control, because I know you said like to sit and say stuff, right?
Yeah.
What I think you need here, okay, and then what you may want or need may be different, because we definitely need leash walking, right? We need recall, which is the return. Those are the two most important commands. And then I'm assuming by the 6th day you're talking about stationary, like because you're talking about this, right? Because she keeps wandering, is that correct?
Yeah. Just like when. Yeah.
Okay, so that is part of the like leash walking exercise. So when I come to a stop, the dog is trained to stay put and not move. Okay.
Yeah. That's
The next thing would be durational control, which is like lay down here and don't move while we have dinner.
Okay.
Or like, let's say you go to a restaurant and you want to bring her along and you don't want her to like be all over the place wandering. Then that's a more formal, like, hey, lay down here, don't move type of command. But like this wandering here would be actually addressed with the leash walking stuff. Okay. Do you find like you would need anything other than that, or is that pretty much it?
That and just the behavior at home, to get her to the point where we can let her around in the house.
Okay, sure, like integrating her and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Like she and the cats have seen each other. They know about each other. Supposedly she ignores cats. I don't think that's really the case. One of my cats probably will never feel super comfortable around her, and that's the way that it is.
Sure.
The other one's a lot friendlier, but I know with the animals, and that takes time, and I think patience.
Right.
But the others, one cat came in our house for 2 years before the other one came in, and it took them about 2 months, and they're totally fine now.
Sure, yeah.
And kind of what I do with that, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm in the room with her, but I'm not constantly giving her attention. I ignore her quite a bit, and then I still try to give the cats attention too, so that they don't feel like they're missing anybody, so nobody's competing.
Sure.
That's my philosophy on that one. But
So when it comes to the integration with the cat and the dog, typically if we see like the first time they see each other, it's like the dog's very prey driven or going crazy, then I'll go, we definitely want to get a muzzle involved here. And we will simply correct her for the behavior to teach her like that's not allowed. But actually the greatest correction is from the cat. So like let's say she's muzzled up and she goes to the cat and just squats her. That's actually the best form because it's very personal. Because we don't.
I have one that'll get her good.
Yeah.
Oh, she'll get her good.
We don't need, in my opinion, them to like each other.
No.
They just need to coexist. And
Exactly.
just know, like, okay, I can't mess with you. I respect your space, and it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
So
They don't have to be best friends.
yeah. So we can see what happens after just like a couple of classes of training. See how
Okay.
she changes.
Okay.
See how it affects her behavior in the home.
Okay.
And then if it's like, you know, Destiny was still struggling with the barking, whatever, then I go, okay, what we hope would work. But that's how it is. Like
Yeah.
some discipline, and then see what does it fix. And then sometimes it fixes those things. And if it doesn't, no big deal. We just have to go about it in a different way. Okay. Other questions?
I think that's kind of it. Yeah. I mean, if there's anything else you see, I mean, like I said, I'm just not a dog person. I mean, I'm kind of a dodo. Really.
Well,
I did have a dog, but I don't. I don't.
sure.
I think, you know what, that's the thing. She cannot run out.
So when it comes to, like I said,
Really on a roll
when it comes to like the training and stuff, like this is easy. This case is easy, okay? However, I know Charlotte's going to be like in charge, the primary handler, but at the same time she's still involved. Yeah. So you may have to step in.
Yeah.
If Charlotte's like, oh, this is great and it's easy and I can do it, then that may take a load off of you because like, all right, cool, I can just not worry about the dog. Okay. Now, having a dog is like having a 3 to 4 year old child.
Yeah.
By the way, forever.
Okay.
Okay. But just so you know,
Yeah.
her mental capacity is about a 3 to 4 year old child.
Okay.
So she, you know, people expect their dogs to mature like a human would mature, become an adult, and they kind of grow up and stuff. It's not how it is.
Yeah.
However, it's simple enough because it's really just like don't do this, don't do that, and then you know do this when I tell you.
Okay. Okay.
I think for what you're needing, 6 9 to 12 week programs.
Okay.
6 is most likely fine. Okay. It's usually 2 for the leash walking, 2 for the recall, 2 for any stationary stuff, addressing kind of any behavioral issues, and then if anything, if you're still struggling with behaviors within the home, we do have add-on Zoom sessions that you can add to your program, and that's where we talk about like just how we're going to address behaviors in the home.
Okay.
Those classes are here.
Okay.
I'm in the middle of getting like the pricing done for like the in-home stuff.
Okay.
And then I'll have Maria get in touch with you to give you the option of what you want to do.
Okay.
This for me is easy enough that I would say you could do either, right? You can even meet here as long as Charlie's able to practice and reinforce the training.
Okay.
Otherwise, if we're struggling or anything with things inside the home, you know, we're going to be revamping that and getting that back up and running.
Okay.
Because that's how I built my business.
Yeah.
Like it was all in person.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
But because of COVID, because I see so many, I went from 30 to 40 clients to 0 when COVID happened, right? So then we just started. Now we're back for normal numbers.
Okay.
But then I'm like, if I see 8 people a day, you know, like I'm exposing a lot of people with one potentially, which is sick.
Yeah.
Whereas outside, and Phil has educated me, you know, it greatly reduces the risk of you know, transferring or whatever.
Okay.
So, but it's all verbal instructions, so I would be coaching Charlotte through it.
Okay.
And what's great about e-collar, by the way, is that once it's taught, it transfers very easily.
Okay.
Meaning, like if Charlotte did all the groundwork for you,
Okay.
and you just did a couple of things, Cookie here can transfer everything to you very quickly.
Okay.
Very minimal work on your part.
Okay.
Okay. We've also, like I said, been recording everything. So if you ever need a refresher, forgot something, you just look up Cookie on our YouTube channel. Which lesson did you forget? Oh, that's the one, and you can watch your lesson.
Alrighty. Oh, great.
And if you're struggling with anything, and I've done it with another client, I send the videos as reference, and I say, hey, try watching this video. It's the same problem that you're having.
Okay.
You know, so it acts like a resource for everybody else as well.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else?
I think that sounds good. I mean.
Okay. So Maria will get in contact with you.
Okay.
The model that she'll need, she'll send it to you. It's for 35-pound dogs and under, because she's like what, 18, 20-something pounds?
I haven't gotten her. Hi. I haven't gotten her weighed yet. She's going to the vet next week, and then she's not spayed either.
Oh, sure. Are you gonna get her spayed?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, getting dogs spayed is hard now because everybody's so backed up.
Oh, really?
Well, the organization I got her from, I could have gotten her spayed tomorrow. But you know, they couldn't give me a time, and it's up in Crystal Lake. I mean, I can't spend 4 hours with her.
Sure.
So I'm just gonna do it. Take her to my vet.
Okay.
Do it that way. I
Yeah.
mean, I was kind of hoping I'd get a little.
If she gets spayed during the training,
Yeah,
she would
that's
need
what.
like
That's a good question. What do you?
she would need a week. It's about 7 to 10 days for her to recover.
Okay.
Dogs, like within the day, are back to normal.
Okay.
Okay, but you have to keep activity levels low,
Yeah.
so she doesn't, and you have to have she'll have to have a cone
Okay.
so that she doesn't shoot a stitches or whatever. But it's not a big deal. It's, we train a lot of puppies, so like they'll
Okay.
have to take a break for training or whatever, for spay or neuter.
Okay.
But during that time, like you just let her rest. She's not going to forget the training, like because of how late she.
Okay.
And then once you just tell Maria like, hey, she's getting spayed, we're going to need to like schedule around this time or whatever, move things around, say no problem, get it all addressed, and then you just come back once she's healed up.
Okay. And then what's kind of your time frame like in terms of your availability?
Maria would know that.
Okay, Maria knows that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I know what my schedule looks like tentatively, but it changes because people reschedule, people cancel, or like I get a consultation booked up. She'll ask you for like your schedule and then my schedule, and
Okay.
then she'll kind of see where we we synchronize whatever.
Okay.
And then, because I've learned not to talk about my schedule, because I'll say like, oh yeah, I think Saturday at this time's open, and then all of a sudden she's like, no, that's booked. I'm like, that's
Okay.
cool.
Okay.
Okay, but yeah, but she'll get in contact with you and she'll fill you in on all that stuff. She'll send you a training form. She'll send you the make and model of the collar you need to go over all the pricing with you for the 6-week program.
How much are the collars? Do they
The collar is, I believe, $237 with tax.
Oh, okay.
But it'll last you for years. Okay, it's fully waterproof, has mile range, so plenty of range for standard family pet. You can go swimming in it, raining on stuff, no problem.
Okay.
It comes with a warranty. The most common thing that I see is that the battery does, because it's a rechargeable lithium battery like your phone,
Okay.
it does die, but it's replaceable. So it's
Okay.
like 15, 20 bucks if you buy a new one and it's outside of warranty. You can literally open it up yourself and replace it, no problem.
Okay. And then, you can't. I know you can't give me specific dates, but like in the book, it's so like, September, end of September.
It depends on your availability. So like if you have daytime availability, then it's easier.
Okay.
Because people are starting to go back to work. So my busiest times are evenings and weekends.
Okay.
But if you have daytime availability, it's easy to get you in right away because it's typically slower at that time.
Yeah, because she gets out of school. I mean, we have some days and we probably do something at like 4.
Sure. Maria can confirm that with you.
Okay.
Otherwise,
And then once we start, do we kind of have a weekly appointment?
correct. So like, let's say 4 on a Friday if that was available. She would book that for you. That would be your time for 6 weeks plus 1, so 7 weeks. In
Okay.
case she gets sick or something, you have to cancel, reschedule.
Okay.
That's your priority.
Okay.
Now to keep my calendar moving because we're getting clients all the time, is we give you priority, but let's say you cancel like 3 times. By the time you hit the 7th week, you've used up your priority, but you still have 3 classes left or whatever, right? Is that you don't lose the classes, but you lose the time slot.
Okay.
Okay? If somebody wants it. If nobody wants it, then we keep you on the time slot, no problem.
Just basically, don't be flaky.
Right.
Okay.
So, because it's happened
Yeah, don't be flaky.
where we would hold a
Okay.
spot, and then they keep canceling, and I'm just sitting there with a dead time.
Yeah, no, I'm with her. I want to get it going now.
Sure.
Once I get my mind locked into something, I'm like, let's go.
Yeah.
Just get it going.
Because the other thing is the board and train, but it's really about Charlotte.
Okay.
Because the board and train, we take her, we train her, and then we transfer everything. But I think it'd be more beneficial for Charlotte to be,
Yeah.
because she's learning everything, she's understanding everything, how it works, why it works, and that's, I always tell people, if you want to do it yourself, you learn so much more,
Yeah.
and you're going to get much better results
Okay.
that'll last way longer
Yeah.
because you know what you're doing and what you're reinforcing, as opposed to we take your dog, do all the work, you don't know what happened, and you get your dog back one way, but then you don't understand the concept behind it, that it's harder to maintain.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's fine. I just like when I decide I want to do something, I just want to do it. Get going right away.
Yes, get up
And
late.
I just expect everybody to work on my schedule, which is not reality. I know. So.
Well, at least you're aware of it.
Oh yeah. I mean, I went. I had naturopathic work done on my foot, and the guy was doing something. He said, "You run your house, don't you?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, I can tell you don't relax at all." I said, "No, I don't. I really don't." And so I try, but yeah. But yeah, if you giving me that analogy of the can. I have lots of those at home, so
Yeah, yeah.
I don't use them, but I know I felt them and stuff.
Yeah, because
So-
people, when they think about electric, are thinking like a taser or like like a electrocution. I'm like, no, like the miniaturized pins in it. It's actually more refined than the human version.
Okay.
Because human version is still risk of burn, still risk of like if you have a pacemaker, they have to be very mindful of how they use it. Not with the e-collar.
Okay.
I've worked with dogs with seizures, heart murmurs, seniors, dogs with medical conditions, never a problem.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, let me just ask you this. Like, out of all the, why do you like this one the best?
The e-collar?
Yeah.
The brand, the model, or like the e-collar?
It's just the whole concept of the e-collar. I know you probably told me that in the beginning. But
One, because you get off-leash control.
okay.
Right? So if she were to get off-leash and she's running away, you can make her return. Okay, that's the biggest one. Also, it's non-confrontational. So like with the spiky one, there's a lot of yanking.
Yeah.
And it's either if you don't have the strength or people feel bad about it, whereas with the button, if there's a disconnect, people don't know.
Yeah.
But also, because of COVID, like it's all verbal instruction,
Okay.
is I don't need to touch the dog to get reliable results. I just coach the human through it, and it's very, very simple.
Okay.
Okay? Other questions?
No, I think that's right. I think, and I think. I'll be there with you. I think
To prep for the training, I do send a couple of videos.
Okay.
Okay, so she can watch them. They explain how to fit the collar, where to place it, how to find the number. She won't need to do anything with it. Just watch the videos, and preferably before your first session, so it's kind of fresh in your mind because it is a lot of information. And then she'll come here, and I'll coach you through the rest. And then you go home, you do your homework, and then we come back week 2, and we just continue to build on what we learned.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, that sounds good. All righty.
Anything else?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Nothing out of the ordinary. I deal with this stuff all the time.
Okay.
Okay. My Chihuahua, he's 8 pounds, is trained on an e-collar.
Okay.
So like, yeah, anything I've done to my clients' dogs, I've done to my own dog.
Okay.
Yep.
And what do you think of puggles in terms of like their behavior and their personalities and stuff?
It all depends.
It just depends.
Like, I mean, she seems to be more pug from what I'm seeing, like personality-wise, more pug.
Okay.
I mean, she's definitely cute. I like her little smush face and stuff.
And she's just jumping up on me. I don't care for it. Yeah. You're fine. No, not on me.
And all that we can correct as well.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
Yep. Anything else?
No, I think that's all. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And I was just thinking right now, because Amy was up in Lakeview, right?
Yeah.
Yep, I remember now. I remember what we were talking about.
Yeah,
I haven't. It was about a year and a half ago, I think, last I saw her.
Yeah, she, maybe you just worked with,
It was just the one dog. It was
okay,
just the one.
and Ruby had passed then, okay.
Yeah,
It was just,
I remember.
yeah, I mean, I noticed when Mabel walked, I don't think Amy puts her on the e-collar.
Yeah, no, because I think she had separation anxiety. She was barking when she would leave and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's what we worked on. But that's the thing, is that people feel bad, And you can go on. I can have Maria send you the link to our YouTube channel,
Okay.
and you can see in the videos just how effective it is. But it requires follow through, just like with anything,
Yeah,
If you with the kid, if you discipline them and then stop disciplining them, they're gonna regress and take advantage of that. Dogs are exactly the same.
Okay.
So,
Okay, well, great.
it was a pleasure.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Thank you so much.
Yep.
And then, just have Maria.
She'll get in contact with you. If not by tonight, by tomorrow, I would assume.
Okay.
Okay.
And, then we can, I do a lot of tutoring in the afternoon, so I want to make sure I leave some time open and
For sure.
not overschedule ourselves.
Yeah. I'll let her know, and I'll tell her about the 4, like you said, during the 4 or something like that.
Yeah, that would be a good time.
Okay. I'll give her a heads up and see if we have anything.
Yeah.
And then I'll see what she says. Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.